Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne. Friday, March 24th, the year 2017. Got the Tro Dashboard. I've been adding a few things to it. I think we're up to about 97 functions right now. But I had a user that uses VWAP, so we put that in there. Put a couple new midpoint columns and a fib level column for another user who wanted to know what the actual value of a certain fib level was. So here we go. So this is the dashboard. So midpoint fade. Now, a lot of times when the market opens, price is going to be away from the midpoint. If you fade it, as you can see here, there was a bunch hit. A few didn't hit, but that doesn't mean you couldn't have made money. So here's where, let's see, it opened here. And the previous day's midpoint was here. So in the case of dollar Canadian, it never got to the midpoint. But you can see here where it opened, if you faded it, there was still a couple of pips to be had. That's how that indicator works. So that's how you make money at the open. You fade the midpoint. Open previous midpoint. This is for the trade I talked about in the last video I put out. You use that with the semaphores, and usually like to be on the M15 time frame. And so what you're looking to see is if the open was above or below the previous midpoint. So if it puts in a high and it opens below the previous candle's midpoint, like this one right here, you want to go short. So this alerts you. Now, if it's grayed out, that means that this is over. In other words, now the open was above it, but now it's over. In other words, that trade would no longer be valid. Okay, so you can see here it's below the midpoint right there. So what happens is, if when it was up here, this would be grayed out because it's no longer below the midpoint. The open was below, but the price isn't. Okay, the fibs. I put in the, we want to look at the 0.500 fib. So this is the actual level for that fib, 0.7622. Because one user said, and he wanted to know what those levels were, so he's probably going to load up a bunch of columns so he can see. And then since here it's 2.2, you can see that the price is below it, so the fib level's above it. Okay, close minus the midpoint. Okay, so since we have a 1, that would be close minus the previous midpoint. So you can see here, the previous midpoint's about right there. I don't have the mid dots indicator on this one. I guess I should have put it there. So you can see, so it tells you how far the close is from the previous midpoint or current midpoint. And then finally the VWAP. That's a squiggly line here. And so you can see it's 76.21, 76.21. And for those of you who aren't familiar with VWAP, it's basically a simple formula. It uses 1 minute bars. And so it takes the typical price, which is the high plus the low plus the close, adds them together and divides that by 3. That's called the sum. And then what it does is it checks the volume for that bar, and that's called the weight. So you add up all the sums, you go back to the first minute of the day, and you add up all the sums, you add up all the volume, then you divide the sum by the volume, and that gives you your volume weighted average price. And that's what this is. So that's how that works. So those are the new columns. Like I said, I believe we're up to 96 or 97 functions right now. 6,500 plus lines of code. But hey, if you've got any more good ideas or there's something you really need, you know, I'm more than happy to accommodate you guys if I can. So, you know, this one particular user had the code, sent me the VWAP indicator that he uses, so I just put the code in. You know, the fib, I figured that out on my own. So that's pretty much it for the dashboard. But the MP fade, that's one I like. Also, we do the pivot point fade. So if they line up on the same side, you've got some strong pull price. And so that's how you can make money. With the VWAP, I'm not really sure. I remember that from a long time ago back in stock trading days. But you can see here how price seems to want to pull back to the VWAP. So anyway, I think that's about it. Thanks again for all your support out there. And oh, I know, let me just run a few things by you while I've got your attention. I think I might have mentioned this before. There's some people that believe I have nothing better to do but sign up on other forums under different names and post. You know, it's kind of like, on the one hand, they want to ridicule me and put me down, but then they want to assign me these super duper powers that I can do all these things, plus I can code, plus I can trade, plus I can do all my ranch chores, plus I can, you know, do other things I need to do. Like, you know, go to the gym and teach fitness classes and things like that, you know, or watch movies. So to all those people that think I'm running around on all these other forums using different handles, well, you guys can think what you want, okay? I'm not the only one that uses my indicators. So if somebody else posts a chart that uses my indicator, you know, there's no reason for you to think it's me. Because if you're so mad at me, quote unquote, promoting indicators on different forums, I mean, some people think this is an advertisement. I'm just showing you what I do, what I've done, you know, and if you like it, you know what to do. If you don't like it, nobody's got a gun to your head. But I just find this so amusing. And then yesterday, I went to a forum that somebody told me about. I signed up, and this is just too funny. I signed up for this forum, and I made 2 posts, or 3 posts. I put some charts out there, and within about 5 minutes, I go back to check something, and I'm banned. My IP address is banned. It's like, I know I didn't violate any rules, but it was called Forex-Station. And they just banned me. Because I guess I signed up, you know, TheRumpledOne at gmail.com. And and I use my handle. I mean, that's who I am. That's who, you know, I'm not going to sign up under some other handle, because that's not me. It's like everybody knows who I am. So if they don't want to play with me, fine. I can find someplace else to go play. But anyway, I guess that's my little rant for the week or something. But I just find that kind of amazing. Because it seems like for some strange reason, the rules for my code is different than the rules for everybody else's. I mean, on one forum, they're like, you know, well, you know, you can only put things on the chart that are free. I go, well, does that apply to everybody? So in other words, if they bought an indicator from a third party and then they put that indicator they show a chart that had that indicator. Well, aren't they promoting? So, you know, it's just, I just find it all amusing. It's just so funny how people do stupid stuff. And I guess that's why I get banned, because I point out how stupid their stuff is, because it doesn't make logical sense. You know, it's arbitrary. And that's just something that I always fight against, you know, things that are arbitrary. It's like, hey, if you make rules, then it applies to all. You know, it's just like those cops that sit on the side of the road and pick on certain speeders. And they go, well, it's like fishing. You can't catch all the fish. It's just like, no, what you do is you catch the first fish that comes along, then you catch the next one. But you don't let a couple of fish go by and then you then you go get the third one, you know, because of some profiling or your own personal bias. That's just not right. So I always stand up against that. But anyway, that's way off of trading. How'd I get there? So, back to trading. Hope you guys had a good week and you drained the banks. I had a pretty good week using some of this, some of my new methods. It's funny because it's not really that they're new. It's just the same stuff. Sometimes I just look at it a different way. Not too much new under the sun here. It's just trading, you know. All you need to trade is a horizontal line. That's really all you need. Dashboards, you know, things like this, they just help you. But when it gets down to trading, you just take this horizontal line, candles red at the line, you short it, you make money. It's that simple. So, fellow traders, I hope you guys had have a good weekend if you're listening to this on Friday, the day I posted it. Otherwise, hope you're having a good day. And as always, fellow traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. TheRumpledOne signing off.